chance to maybe ask some few questions to the president. I'll be very brief. I only have three questions to make. One, Mr. President, is that like most of the people have said, is that your government is full of lies because of one. I want to put it clear that when Finance Bill 2023 was passed, um, we believe that the revenue that was going to be collected during that period were going to be used for development. Personally, I come from a Masab constituency, and on February of last year, the CS for Transport, Bona Murkomen, came to gov't Shrines and promised us that there is a road down there that's going to down from Kurgung to Chepterway, coming down to Kapkatembu. He said personally that since that this is a road that was left midway by the contractor, he was going to send the contractor in a record 3 months to be on site so that the road can continue so the contractor can start the construction. Up to now, we still haven't seen that. So that basically tells you that that is a liar. Number two, I think the Gray has talked about the issue of fertilizer. You've said, Mr. President, that if you find that there is a case against the said minister, you're going to fire him. There is a case that has been filed by the Law Society of Kenya against the Minister of Agriculture. If kindly we can tell the minister to step aside so that trying to investigate someone who is in office becomes very hard. So let the minister step aside so that we can continue with the investigation. Number three, I would want to talk about the arrogance that is in your government. I have heard Mr. President say that the issue of Finance Bill 2024 was, I think it was packaged in a way that maybe you should have done it better. Yes, you should have done it better. The reason being, the people you sent out there, since like the MP for Molo, on the issue of the motor vehicle levy, at some point in the TV, he told people that, if you cannot be able to pay that, just leave your vehicle at home. That is the arrogance that was being displayed. The leader of majority in parliament, Kimani Ichung'wa, even went out on a podium, said that, these are the Gen Zs, they come with the phones, they go to KFC, they go, and then they come with an Uber. That is the arrogance that fueled all this anger that you're seeing in people. And then lastly, on the issue of, I come from, this region of Uasin Gishu and maybe Nandi and Uasin Gishu. There was an issue of the Finland scam that happened. There's a case in court. Parents paid for the money. The case is dragging in court. So actually, what you saw in Elred, I think it's more of, it wasn't even more finance bill. It's the anger that has been building up. It's been building up. So people were really angry because they've paid, people sold their land. The issues are still there. Nobody's talking about. We have a case that is in court. It can drag to 5 years. So what happens with the money that has been lost, that someone was going to go to school tomorrow or by next year, maybe they would have graduated. So I think those are the issues that I have. I want you to address in regards to the areas that I have mentioned. Thank you.
Wakili Saruni can speak.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for this opportunity to address you, and thank you very much, the host, Hussein and Osama. My name is Jesse Saruni, or rather Wakili Saruni. I am the president of University Students in Kenya, KUSO. And Your Excellency, I have a few concerns. But first, allow me to give you a background of why, in my opinion, I feel comrades were very disturbed about the finance bill. Your Excellency, if you look at the finance bill 2023-2024, it introduced housing levy at around 3%, which was to be redeemable. However, during public participation, the people, most of the people, including comrades, said that we can start at 1.5%. But without communication, the parliament went ahead and reviewed and made it to be 1.5%, but they removed the clause that allowed people to redeem the savings after they retire. Your Excellency, I would wish to hear from you whether it can be reverted so that this can be redeemable. But as I continue, Your Excellency, I was part of your team during the campaign, and one of the things that we were saying during the campaign, because I actively campaigned using the Kenya Kwanza manifesto, was the 30% of appointments of youth in different positions, and including a youth advisor to the cabinet. However, Your Excellency, currently we have an advisor to the cabinet on women affairs, but we do not have an advisor to the cabinet on youth affairs. I was concerned whether this was deliberately left out, or I was just a little bit concerned with that. Your Excellency, another key concern that affects comrades, around 6,000 graduates went through diploma in law, and this is in regard to career progression. So they did their diploma in law, and they proceeded to do their degree in law. Your Excellency, before 2014, everyone who did their diploma and did their degree in law were able to proceed to the Kenya School of Law for the ATP Advocates Training Program. But the laws were changed in 2014, and this affects around 6,000 university students who are working in law firms and getting underpaid. And I am happy to see that the president of LSK, who is very passionate about issues of youth, is also here. Your Excellency, there is an amendment bill in Parliament that is on the Speaker's desk and has stayed for so long. Your Excellency, this is something that is under the office of the Attorney General. And with the indulgence of the Attorney General, I believe this thing can be, we can find an approach where this thing can be addressed, of course, through the office of the Attorney General, so that these comrades can stop their suffering. They are not able to proceed to self-actualization, because most of them would want to become advocates of the High Court, but they are not able due to that change in the Act of Parliament. Your Excellency, another concern is on students and youth leadership.
Wakili, I really hate to do this, but please, we've only gone through 5 questions. I think there are so many people on attack.
Okay, just one more.
Kindly, we agreed. Yeah, please, kindly.
Okay. Your Excellency, in regards to university students and youth leadership, you can see that we have the National Youth Council, which is constituted. It's supposed to hold elections. And I feel, Your Excellency, the youth feel that they have not been able for a long time to represent their grievances because they are not able to elect their leaders directly. And this goes back even to the University Amendment Act, which introduced the delegate system, which I feel that the universities have found a way to maneuver so that they make sure that the students who are elected are students who they can be able to maneuver and manipulate. Your Excellency, finally, on the issue of branding, the projects that our members of parliament and all other people has the aspect of when the projects are complete, people tend to brand their names on these projects. Your Excellency, these projects are financed by taxpayers, and it is the request of the young people and the youth that when it comes to branding, we would rather have these projects branded that they have been financed by the Kenyan taxpayer. I will leave it at that, Your Excellency, and thank you very much. But of course, there is the issue of mental health. I appreciate we cannot exhaust all these things in one sitting, but I'm looking forward to more engagements in other platforms. Thank you very much, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. The final question of the 3 ex-councillor.
Good evening, everyone. You can hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
My first request to the host and the co-host, please do not give the elected people the chance to speak, one of them a lie and You can hear me, Osama? Can you save
Yes,
the time?
go ahead.
Elected MPs, any elected official should not take this chance apart from the president. So thank you very much for the time. I have two things more. I don't want to repeat a lot of things I've
In the
said because
meantime,
the
I just want
president have
to
a pile of
address the
questions
president.
already. Number one.
Mr. President, si
Number
watakujua
one.
huyu askari amekuwa akiwa watu kwa maandamano atashukua siku gani? Kwa vile amekuwa kirom freely tangu last month, amekuwa tu all over the city. Tulikuwa tunataka kujua atashukua siku gani, kwa vile ilikuwa inasemekana amekuwa hivyo tangu kitambo na sio wa kwanza. We just need answers about him. Thank you.
Okay, he will answer. He will answer that. Plus, Councillor. Councillor, finish, please. Thank you.
Yeah, my question is to the president. Why is it that the things you're asking about today are not new things? They are things you did promise in your campaign, and the other time you are being played with videos of you saying the same thing. You had to find a way of not listening to those videos. The one thing that you promised us, one of them is corruption. Your people around you, you've addressed this one. You can't tell me out of the 100 people you have around you, 90% are corrupt or have story of corruption, and you are doing nothing about them. I'm a medic by profession, and the issue of NHIF, which is moving now to shift. I read the last 2 days of millions, 300 millions, another 900 million today, disappearing to wrong or fake claims. I'm wondering, if the change from NHIF to shift, will it improve or just another way to get more money for people around your circle to buy houses, buy big cars, and laugh at us? Now, Mr. President,
Councillor, please. Those are about two questions. Now let's have the president answer. We don't have a lot of time. We have watu wengi. They need to ask questions to the president. Please let the president respond to that. If we get a chance, another chance, utauliza hiyo swali ya tatu tafadhali.
Very much. Thank you very much, good people. Let me start with the gentleman. I didn't get his name from Osop. And that gentleman says, we have too many lies flying all over the place. Let me just state, let me just put it clearly. So many people have spread this story about William Ruto not telling the truth or making fake promises. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be a hustler fund. Today, there is a hustler fund that takes care of 2 million Kenyans. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that fertilizer is going to come down. It has come down from 7,000 to 2,500. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that we will have a housing program. Today, 103,000 houses are being built with 160,000 young people, real people, engineers, architects, quantity surveyors, plumbers, technicians working. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that we are going to sort out matters in the education sector. Today, we have hired the highest number of teachers in Kenyan history. In one time, 56,000 teachers. I made a commitment that I am going to sort out the mess that was in our universities. Today, ask any vice chancellor. With our new funding model, we have sorted out the challenge that was there in our universities. Today, lecturers are being paid. No university today is about to close down. When I came into office, most universities were teetering on being closed because of debts. I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that I am going to implement universal health coverage. Today, as I talk to you, we have 100,000 community health promoters in every village in Kenya that I pay, that I have equipped to begin the journey towards universal health coverage. As I talk to you today, there are 4 pieces of legislation that we have implemented, that we have enacted to actualize universal health coverage. I can go on, and I can tell you, every commitment that I made, I said I am going to appoint the judges that were not there, I did. I said I'm going to operationalize the fund for the police, independent police, I did. I said I am going to enhance the budget of the judiciary, I did. You know, when people want to conveniently say a few things that propagate a certain narrative, it is easy. But let me leave that there. Let me go back to your the Mosop Kurgung story. I want to tell you, my good brother, we have stalled roads in Kenya. In fact, the budget, the debt we have on roads is 910 billion, because we rolled out a program that we didn't have money to do. It is what is troubling me now. It is why many people are asking me, why are you outside the country? I went to China, for example, and I got 40 billion shillings to do at least 8 roads that were stalled. I have come back from the US, and we have had a consultation, and we are getting money to be able to roll out some of our roads, courtesy of concessional funding from the World Bank. I have had conversations with the president of Germany, and they are giving us money under the same program for us to be able to meet some of our programs. I want to tell my good friend from Osop that we are focused on these areas. These roads did not stall yesterday. These roads have stalled for a while. We are figuring out how to make sure that we deal with that situation. And my apologies that maybe the minister did not keep his word, and I'm going to remind him. Let me do the following. On fertilizer, I want to agree with you on this subject of fertilizer first. Let me say this. Fertilizer has made a very big difference in Kenya. Because of our program on fertilizer, we have managed to increase our food productivity. For example, on maize alone, from 44 million bags to 67 million bags last year. This year, we are going to pay the highest bonus ever in Kenyan history for our tea. In fact, our tea production, because of the support we gave KTDA, has increased from last year. It was 180 billion shillings that we collected from our tea. This year, it's going up to 210 billion. On coffee, the average payment of coffee last year was in the region of 70-80. As I talk to you now, because we supported our tea farmers, the average payment for our coffee is in the region of between 100, 120, in some very good cases, 129 shillings per kilo. The whole array of what we have done with fertilizer is phenomenal. And therefore, I understand when somebody like my friend from Morsop gets annoyed when there are people who want to sabotage a program that is making a very big difference in Kenya. And that is the reason why I didn't delay 1 minute. When this issue of fake fertilizer came into the public, all the officials that were involved in it at the National Cereals and Produce Board were charged. When the minister is when there is evidence gathered enough for the minister to be held to account, I want to promise you that I will fire him, and any other minister for that matter, if there is sufficient evidence to hold anybody accountable. Arrogance. I agree with you that not everybody understands communication. Let me tell you, my good friend from Mosop, the day you become a public speaker, you will know how easy it is to make a mistake in the public. Sometimes you say things that you did not mean, but it comes out very badly. So whether it is the member of parliament for Molo, the member for parliament for Molo is a young man. I can tell you that young man is doing his very best. In fact, when I made him the chair of finance committee, many people told me he was too young. I shouldn't have made him. But I wanted to test also young people. And I wanted to mentor young people. And I want to say, he has made mistakes. But I want to tell you that young man is bright. He has a bright future. He made mistakes. I will apologize for him. Maybe he said what he shouldn't have said. But They are among the young people I am mentoring so that they can become leaders tomorrow. Same case with my friend Kimani Ichung'wa. In fact, after he made that statement in, I think it was maybe in Baringo or somewhere, I called him. I told him, look, this is not how to engage the public. If you follow the next day, he had managed to correct his statement, and he had done, an about turn of some sort. Because let me tell you, my good friend from Osop, I have also one duty as a leader in Kenya. I have a duty to mentor other leaders. They will make mistakes. They will demonstrate, maybe some arrogance, maybe either inadvertently or in whatever manner. But partly, it's because of inexperience, partly because of not a fair understanding of things. But I sometimes will want to take responsibility because these are members of my team, and I will correct them. Let me also say about what you said about the Finland story in Eldoret. It is really unfortunate that people sold property, land, livestock for their children to go to Finland. I wish I could go to court and tell the court to jail these people. Unfortunately, there's something called rule of law. There's something called due process. If these people had not been arrested, if nothing had not been done about it, then I would think that there would be a matter. But these are people who have been arrested. They are, as I talk to you, presently in court. They are being taken through due process. And I am very confident that if they are guilty, the law is going to deal with them. Let me go to Saruni, Akili. You said about the 1.5. It is true. There was a proposal of 3%. The public told us that we do not want a levy. If you want, collect a tax, reduce it to 1.5. So both reduction to 1.5 and changing to a tax was actually coming from public participation. This is what the public said. If the public are going to make a different suggestion going forward, we will respect what the public will have said going into the future. Am I still audible? Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you're
Let me say this. I agree with you, my friend, that I said that I would have an advisor in my office for young people. But maybe I did something different. I gave many young people. If you go to parliament, if you look at the leader of Senate, if you look at the leader of many committees in parliament, I made young people. If you look at my deputy controller of State House, these are young people. I decided to have more more principal secretaries. If you look at the profile of my principal secretaries, you have people in their 30s, many of them serving in substantive positions. In fact, many people were asking me whether these girls, some of them look like they are, or these boys, whether they can be principal secretaries. And I am very proud of them. They are doing a wonderful job. But that is something I will consider, Saruni, that as a way of keeping a promise, I think that is something I need to consider. And thank you very much for your feedback. Let me also say on the matter of the law that is bringing problems to 6,000 diploma law students who, because of a law in 2014, I will take it up with the AG. Ordinarily, professional organizations like the legal fraternity are normally regulated by professional bodies like the LSK and all the others. If we get a recommendation from the LSK to the Attorney General, I will be able to facilitate and make sure that we don't enfranchise 6,000 people in Kenya who have undergone training and who need to practice law in the way they want to do. I agree with you that there has been a problem with the Kenya Youth Council. We need to deal with it. And I have told Ababu Namwamba, my minister for young people, to look at whether we have the right forum. You know, the problem with the youth council, it has always looked like it is a government agency. We want to make sure that it doesn't look like a government corporation or a government agency. We want it to be a young people's organization in a way that government influence and government intervention is limited, so that the young people can speak for themselves. I would welcome ideas, Saruni, from university leadership on how we can make the youth council better, more democratic, and more representative of the young people. I couldn't agree with you more on this branding issue. I see faces of people all over the place on government projects that have been done. I think it is meant to look like they did it with their own money. I agree with you that this branding, if it costs public money, it should stop. And it is feedback that I am going to take in to see to it that no public money is used to paint people's photos on government projects. Let me answer ex-councillor. I'm told he's ex-councillor, but he's also a doctor. This is good. I didn't know that an ex-councillor, a doctor can be an ex-councillor, but that is good. He has asked me about the NHIF and the transition to shift. Let me tell my brother, I didn't get his name, that the reason why we are shifting from NHIF to shift is because NHIF is limited. NHIF only captures a small section of our society. It is my intention, as I made a commitment to the public, that every Kenyan must have two things: must have access to healthcare and must have access to health insurance. We must make sure that those people, even those who cannot afford NHIF, because there are many people who cannot afford the 500 we are paying at the moment. And that is why we have brought in a means testing system, so that the people who cannot afford the 500, we have now reduced it to 300 under the new program. And even those who cannot afford the 300, the government of Kenya is going to pay for them, so that no Kenyan will go to hospital, whether they are suffering from hypertension or cancer or diabetes or whatever. Either they get treatment because level 1, 2, and 3 are free, or they can go to a referral hospital and there is an insurance system through SHIF, that's the social insurance that is going to make sure that their bills are paid. So, and let me tell you, one very important addition to this program is the digital health platform. The biggest problem we have had in NHIF is the digitization process. We lose a lot of money because of collusion between hospitals and staff at NHIF. In fact, you saw in the public media that there are hospitals that have more accountants than medical officers, because they are gaming the system. We have now standardized all tariffs. There is no way you can be treated by malaria in one hospital and you pay 1,000, and treated for malaria in another hospital and pay 100. We have standardized, whether it is public, whether it is private hospital, we have now standardized treatment. That is what happens world over in countries that understand how to manage matters health. So this is a comprehensive program. It is one program that will change the face of Kenya. Kenyans will no longer have to sell their land, sell their property to go and pay for hospital bills. We will, all of us, stop these harambes and the public collections that we are collecting to go and deal with people. So, my good friend, this is the plan. We have gone through it with Parliament. We have enacted 4 pieces of legislation. It was my plan to launch it on the 1st of this month. Unfortunately, because of the challenges we've gone through with the finance bill. We have shifted it to begin 1st of October, but the process of registration has already started. I think we are on day 4, and already over 100,000 Kenyans have been registered. So, and I want to encourage all Kenyans to register so that we can be able to plan for our health together as the people of Kenya. And we can even plan for our health commodities, and we can be able to secure everybody from matters illness. Thank you very much.
Not finish my questions. So as I continue, I know, but my main point was corruption, whether it's an HIF or chief. I told you 300 million paid to fake claims, around 9 million